it's on once he gets that up here.
Oh, another one. Okay. Good evening. I would like to call the June 25th Village Board meeting to order. The clerk, if you would please take roll call.
Yes, Mayor Nero is absent. Clerk Simsky, present. Trustee Barker, absent. Trustee Guzzo.
Here.
Trustee Little.
Here.
Trustee Pirelli.
Here.
Trustee Plowman.
Here.
Trustee Scales is absent. Attorney Zemanak.
Here.
Village Manager Gunther.
Here.
And Assistant Village Manager Parker.
Here.
Thank you. And if everyone would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on our agenda this evening, open forum. I believe we have 2 open forum requests. Okay, I'd first like to call up Susan Steinmiller. If you would please come to the microphone and the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. Village Manager, Madam Clerk, Council, and distinguished trustees, and my fellow citizens. My name is Susan Steinmiller, and I'm back. If you don't remember, I'm the proud citizen of this progressive village of Westmont. I'm a retired history teacher of 35 years, and last time I was here, I started off with bell ringer. I would like to do it again, if you don't mind. I want you to imagine that you're at a time where you're at a stoplight. But nowhere, out of nowhere, a person comes up from the darkness and approaches your car. All they want to do is ask for some spare change. Disheveled, unkempt, you see him or her unacceptable, not the part of the norm, unclean. The first thing you do, you push the lock button. Then you try not to make eye contact. You write them off as a drunk needing another drink, a hype needing another fix. Many of them as unacceptable. He or she is not like you, or anyone you know, at least that's what you think. The truth of the matter is, if we don't know their story, their external clues, you know, the wrinkled clothes, the dirty clothes, unwashed hair, unmanicured dirty nails. Whatever the clues are, we think we know their story. But do we? Maybe he or she is one of the 250,000 Americans who have mental health conditions that are homeless. Or maybe he or she is one of the 58,000 Americans who suffer from PTSD because they served their country. But some don't have signs. They have a mask. And they might be sitting right in this room. They might be sitting in the pews of our churches and our synagogues and our mosque. They're here. And I'm asking you again to please support as a board the referendum, the 708 mental health referendum. We want your endorsement. We don't need it, but I want it. I want the whole village of Westmont to know how important mental health is for our community. That we need this board. We're the only township, Downers Grove Township, not to have a mental health board. And again, what the mental health board does is identify the needs of our community. It might be suicide prevention. It might be dementia schooling with the elderly. They will identify the problem, and they will have money and funds to address it, including right here in Westmont. I was just told recently that we do not have a village social worker. We are one of the few not to have one. Maybe that can be addressed. So again, I'm asking you to remember that the mental health crisis doesn't discriminate. The facts are it affects the young, the old, Republican, Democrat, Independent, rich, the poor, whatever race. Please endorse it as a group. Put it on your agenda and vote for it. And ring the bell. let the community know 708 is important to us. Another note, I'm sorry the mayor's not here. He kind of gave me a challenge. And that was, I was so disappointed that we do not have a forest preserve beside the golf course. So I spent hours researching and trying to find land, because I did speak with President Daniel Hebrard, the president of the Forest Preserve, and he says, find me the land. Unfortunately, I could not find the land. I talked with Adam from Westmont for zoning, and I talked to the director, Sarah Hahn. So the only other option is selling some Park District land. So that's the sad part. I give you that challenge, find us the land. And maybe the other thought I thought was, they really haven't developed our golf course. So maybe they can do a better job of doing that, the Forest Preserve, where we can have a place where you can have events, and they have a bar and a restaurant, just like Meadow Creek has in Addison. That's my idea. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our second open forum is Bonnie Wayman. I'd like to invite you up to the podium.
Hi, Bonnie Wayman, 248 Robinson Lane. I'm not here to complain today. I have a couple shout outs. But first I want to just piggyback on Susan for a little bit. There's also some communities have with their 708 board, I believe, is they also have a blue envelope program. And if you're not aware of the blue envelope program, the blue envelope is something that you can show perhaps like a police officer or somebody that pulls you over that just says, I may not react the way you think I should because I'm on the spectrum and things like that. So that's also a nice takeaway for the 708 board is the blue envelope. But my shout outs are one to the Planning and Zoning Commission that stayed late on a very nasty weather day where some of us lost power and had storm damage, and they stayed late along with our officers that stay here for meetings to hear our pros and cons on the planning and zoning plan for 1 North and some of the other downtown projects. So I wanted to say thank you to them for staying late on a nasty night and hearing us all out. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Holiday, I think is their name, the construction program for the 1 North project. They did a little talk over at Holy Trinity on the 1 North proposed building. And I thought they did a nice job and had nice floor plans and things like that. And they also took some verbiage I think was more aimed at the village than at them. So I thought they did a nice job and did all that. And I just want to say that. So thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other open forum, we are going to move on reports. I am going to start as Mayor Pro Tem. First, Mayor Nero's report in his absence, Independence Day celebration at Ty Park. Join us 4th of July to celebrate America's 250th birthday for food, games, fun, a drone show, and fireworks presented by the Westmont Park District. And I'm also, since I'm speaking, I'm going to do my report for Fire Public Safety. Our next Fire Public Safety Committee meeting is July 23rd, 4:30 here in Village Hall. And then I'm going to go to the clerk, Clerk Simsky.
Thanks, Trustee Guzzo. Just a couple items. Village office closures, Village Hall and other village offices will be closed on July 3rd in observance of Independence Day. And then community garage sales. The annual Westmont Community Garage Sales, coordinated by the Westmont Special Events Organization, are scheduled for August 7th, 8th, and 9th. Details are on the village website. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on with board reports. Trustee Matt Scales is absent this evening. His Community Development Committee update. The next meeting is July 9th, 4:30 here in Village Hall. Everyone is invited to attend. And permit fee waiver program. Permit applications must be submitted online with all required documentation. The submission process will begin September 1st and end on October 31st. Details are on our village website. And then moving over to Trustee Pirelli, Public Works.
Thank you, Trustee Guzzo. For Public Works, the water quality report has been out and published, so you can find it on the village website. And if you want a paper copy of it, they're available at the library, the police department, Public Works, and Village Hall. And then also another is sidewalk sign. The village contractors Safe Step has started removing trip hazards in the village, and they started on Linden, and they're working towards Washington between Naperville and Burlington. And obviously, it's summer in construction, so lots are going on in the village, as we can all see. So if you have want to find out, you could just go to our village website for any of the latest construction information. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Plowman, Police Public Safety.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Our next Police Public Safety Committee meeting is August 6th here in the building at 4:30. We also have the Citizens Police Academy. Registration is now open. Details and sign up are on the village website and the Police Department Facebook page. Police Department National Night Out is August 4th. It's a great time. It's a block party style event. It's an annual community building event that promotes positive partnerships between law enforcement and community. And just kind of off of that, last week's village vehicle cruising nights was amazing. I always get just a great feeling to see families and kids interact with our law enforcement and our first responders. It's just a great feeling, and they really know how to throw a party that night. So congratulations and hats off to that. Also, this morning I stopped at is it JS Coffee or Jay's Coffee, or right around the corner here? Fantastic. I think it would put Starbucks to shame. So they've really done the building up nice, or the store up nice, and they've got a great selection of drinks, a lot of pastries. So if you're in the mood for a great cup of coffee, I would highly suggest that. And I saw on social media that construction is complete inside Beauty and the Baker. So that's exciting too. So here we grow again, Westmont. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Little, Administration Finance.
Thank you, Trustee Guzzo. The Administration Finance Committee meeting next will be held on September the 3rd, 4:30 right here in Village Hall. Everyone's invited to attend. Tonight's meeting was canceled, but that's all right. Cruise nights, we have every Thursday night during the month of June, July, and August from 5 to 9 right here on Cass Avenue. And the website for Westmont Special Events has posted all the themes for the shows every week. So come on out on Thursday nights, turn off the TV and go. Taste at Westmont will be July 9th through the 12th. There are many volunteer opportunities for those who are interested. More details can be found on westmontevents.com. Mark Forner, the original lead singer for Grand Funk Railroad, will be performing on Saturday night. Chicago's best tribute band, Dancing Queen, performing the music of ABBA, will be on Friday night. The country's best Chris Stapleton tribute band, called Tennessee Whiskey, will be performing on Saturday night, and country music artist Allie Walker will be performing on Sunday night. There will also be over 100 musicians performing over the weekend, and the new South Stage will be located at Cass, just north of Burlington, so check that out too. Great food, great vendors, all ages carnival, and more. Go to westmontevents.com for more information. And then reading for Trustee Barker, the Environmental Improvement Committee meeting, and update Westmont first. The Environmental Improvement Committee meeting, next one will be August the 3rd. And they're also calling for artists and performing artists for dance, theater, music, and art for the September 12th and 13th Vision and Vibe Fest 2026. It's already been published, so please see the website for more information and to sign up. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, moving on. Items to be removed from the consent agenda. Are there any board members wishing to have anything removed from this agenda? If not, I am going to ask the manager to please read it.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Guzzo. Before we begin, as we can see, we're a little thin at the dais this evening, and because we have some pretty technical board items, I wanted Attorney Zemenak to kind of walk through the Robert's Rule of Order on some of the issues and give the board some guidance on how they can proceed through the agenda.
You said Robert's rules, and now their eyes are glazed over, and they're not going to listen to me.
That's why I'm turning it over to you, so I don't have to explain it. Because my eyes are glazed over.
Thank you, Ron. With 4 of you here, all 4 need to vote yes if an item's to be approved. If one person votes no, it's not approved. And that's your right to vote yes or no, how you see fit. But for items that historically, I guess, are either controversial or of interest to the village, or of interest to a particular trustee, or when we know there's going to be potentially a split vote, but we don't have a full, all the members here, all the trustees, typically the mayor or the manager will ask for the item to be postponed so all the trustees can be present. So if you're inclined to vote no on any agenda item tonight, as a matter of courtesy, if you could say, I'm inclined to vote no, and allow someone to make a motion to postpone it, that would be appreciated. But if not, that's your right to not want to postpone and want to vote. And if that happens and a matter is denied, it's denied. There are rights to reconsider an item that a trustee can raise, and some procedures around that I won't get into now. There's also a right to renew a motion to approve something under Robert's rules. If something's been denied, any trustee at the next meeting can say, I'd like to renew the motion to approve item whatever it is. And if the majority approves it, it can be added to a future agenda. So there's some options, but the preference is if someone's going to vote no, and since there's only 4 people, that it gets postponed so we can have full consideration.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, thanks. That was pretty good. You can put anybody to sleep. Now I'll put some people to sleep. All right, consent agenda. Under tonight's consent agenda, item A, Village Board minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the Village Board meeting held on June 11th, 2026. Item B, Finance Ordinance number 13 in the amount of $2,380,592.51. There are no purchase orders, and so the total purchase orders and finance ordinance is the aforementioned $2,380,592.51. And that concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you, Manager. All right, I would ask for a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Plowman?
Roll call, please.
Okay, Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes. Next, moving on our agenda, unfinished business. Amendment to agreement with Leopardo Construction. Board to consider an ordinance approving a first amendment to the agreement with Leopardo Construction, Inc., which accepts the guaranteed maximum price exhibit and other exhibits for the fire department headquarters. Director Reese and Deputy Chief Frank.
Good evening, Board. So at the October 16th, 2025 Village Board meeting, the Board approved the selection of Leopardo Construction to serve as the construction manager at risk for the fire department headquarters, and it approved an agreement for construction manager at risk services. The vote on that day was 6-0 to approve, so there was a no dissenting vote on that day. Also, just another background item, on March 5th, 2026, the Village Board voted 6-0 to approve the bond issuance to cover the construction costs and other public improvement projects. And then on March 19th, the Village Board voted 6-0 to approve all of the zoning requests for this project. So I'll go now into the additional background. So to date, there were 2 bid packages that have been released by Leopardo for the various trades and subcontractors that will be involved in building the new fire department headquarters. The first package was opened on April 17th and included lead and asbestos abatement and building demolition. And the second package opened on June 8th and included various trades such as earthwork, site utilities, paving, concrete, masonry, structural steel, roofing, doors, glazing, millwork, flooring, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, general trades, and other work items. So they have now prepared Exhibit A to the agreement containing a guaranteed maximum price of $25,328,449. And this includes demolition of the old building, construction of the new building, temporary fire station, permits, bonds, insurance, construction contingencies, and the contractor's fee. The GMP does not include the architect's design fee or technology equipment and low voltage wiring, which will be handled by a separate contract. The total project cost, including the GMP and ancillary contracts, is $26,883,449. Leopardo has also prepared the other remaining exhibits to the agreement, so that's B, D, F, and G. And this first amendment approves these exhibits, and it amends the list of exhibits contained in the agreement. So tonight, we're seeking approval of this Exhibit A, guaranteed maximum price. And I've got Tyler Nassar here from Leopardo that can speak to any details of the various construction packages, any information about the building itself, or other matters related to the construction.
Thank you, Director Reese. Any comments or questions from any board members? Seeing none, I would ask for a motion.
Motion to approve, Little?
Plowman second?
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes. Thank you, Director Reese.
Thank you.
Next, moving on to new business, variance 29 North Washington Street lot coverage. Board to consider an ordinance approving a request from Richard Strohmeyer Jr. for the property at 29 North Washington Street, Westmont, Illinois, 60559, for a zoning ordinance to the maximum lot coverage in the R3 single-unit residential district for 2 patios. Director Henderfine.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Guzzo, and thank you, Board. So what's before us tonight is a lot coverage variance. We've seen several of these coming before the Board in recent time. So this property, 29 North Washington, had a new home built on it in approximately 22, 23, so the home is fairly new. The builder that built it built as much square footage for the home as they could, and did not afford any outdoor patio area. Basically, they maximized the 35% lot coverage that they were allowed to do with mostly house and driveway. So what we have before us is the property owner is looking to add some outdoor patio space. Now, what they proposed was 2 patios, one just behind the garage where the garage breaks through to the backyard, and then off the family room, which would put them at a lot coverage at about 42%. They are proposing that the patios be done in a permeable paver. If you're not familiar, there's impermeable, which basically most concrete, asphalt, and even regular paver patios don't let all the water through. A permeable paver patio will allow a substantial portion of that water to go through and then collect underneath in the gravel that sits below it. So it is a typical what we call a BMP, which is basically a best management practice for trying to contain that water, at least for a time period, before it then distributes itself off the lot or into the sewer systems. So what is being proposed is 42% in 2 patios. Now, my planning and zoning did give a positive recommendation. However, they amended that with a condition. They felt that the maximum that should be permitted on this lot is 40%. And the way the patios were designed, basically the larger patio off the family room was appropriate, but they requested that the other patio off the garage be limited. So when you are considering it tonight, I look to Attorney Zemenak to help us with the way we need to do the motion or amend the motion. But the positive recommendation that Planning and Zoning put forth was not for the original request of 42%. It was for the modified conditional of 40%. And I do have the contractor that represents the owner here. If you have any questions, of course, I'm available for questions as well.
And when Planning and Zoning made the recommendation, it was, again, as Joe said, only for the northernmost patio, which was the larger patio, and a walkway from the second door where the other patio was originally proposed to be located that led to the northernmost patio, with lot coverage not to exceed 40% for those items. So once we're done with any public comment and trustee comments, when you're ready to make a motion, who's ever making the motion should specify whether they're approving this motion to approve the request at the 42% lot coverage, which would allow for 2 patios as proposed by the applicant, or motion to approve the variance at 40% per the Planning and Zoning Commission recommendations. And I did send 2 versions of the ordinance to you.
Okay. First, I'd like to open it up. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this? Seeing none, is there any questions from the board?
I guess, can I ask a question? Or would you know? Do you know why they lowered it to the 40%? Zoning?
I believe that the planning and zoning thought it set precedent that was a little high. So every lot coverage variance that comes before the board is a little bit different.
Sure.
Sometimes we have really old houses that were built way too big. In this case, the builder recently built it, knew of the 35% maximum, built as much house, 0 patio. Homeowners came in, bought it, did not know that there was a limitation, and knew that if they were going to go through the variance process and they were trying to build it in a remediated way with that permeable paver patio, their request was for 42. I believe that when they did have planning and zoning say we're more comfortable with maximizing at 40, I believe, Tristan, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that was amenable, that was an acceptable. Correct. Okay, so basically the petitioner said they would accept the 40% if that's
Okay, so
what's
they're
approved.
okay with the 40s. Oh, okay.
So Joe, how common is 42% around town?
If you're looking in the old section of town, so basically, and I'm going to use some general numbers here. Before 1990, there were no lot coverage maximums. So basically, if someone came in and said they wanted to cover their whole property, we would say, okay. So there's lots of pre-existing conditions that are out there that are already over those lot coverage maximums. And we try to work with those properties every day. We then instituted what was first a 40% lot coverage. And that was kind of reactionary because we knew we had some flooding problems. It is not always customary that lot coverage maximums for zoning purposes are trying to treat a stormwater remediation. However, here in Westmont, we are unique. We felt that was a measure that we could put out there to try to kind of alleviate some of our stormwater issues. We found that 40% was not good enough, so we reduced it to 35. And we reduced it to a conditional 35, and we said, listen, if you're not in an area that's known to flood, so after the big rain, you're not the areas that get the pooling water in the street or anything like that, then we were always comfortable with going up back to that original 40% number. In this case, on this property, it is in an area that has known flooding issues. So on the books, we would say, nope, 35% is your absolute maximum. And if you look at the numbers, the house that was built was at 34.9%. So when that builder built and put the driveway in, he was right at the maximum. We don't have anything in our codes that says, well, you didn't include a patio, and everyone's probably going to want a patio. Why can't you give an extra few hundred square feet for a patio? That's not the way the code works. Just like technically this property could not get a shed, could not build an addition because they're at their maximum. So how often do we see 42? We see it a lot on these older properties that have not fully redeveloped. But on the new houses, we usually try to keep right to that maximum of either 35% or sometimes they're allowed to go up to 40. So hopefully that answered your question.
Now, on the, so when you come out of the garage, that's where the one patio is going to go, is that correct?
That's where the one that planning and zoning was not comfortable with okaying. So what they did is they said, well, you're entitled to a walkway from that door to get to the big patio, but we didn't see the need for 2 patios.
Okay.
Any other questions? Then I would ask for a motion.
I
on
would
whichever.
like to make the motion on the 40.
Okay,
So,
so to clarify, that's a motion to approve the variance with a maximum lot coverage of 40% and only the northernmost patio and a walkway being allowed. Correct?
yes.
Okay, correct.
I'll second the motion. Little?
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Plowman,
Yes.
trustee Little,
Yes.
trustee Pirelli,
Yes.
trustee Plowman, or Guzzo.
Yes.
Sorry.
Motion passes. Moving on. Major site plan approval, 6120 South Cass Avenue, Daycare Center. Board to consider an ordinance approving a request from 814 CRE LLC, the petitioner, and Encore CW LLC, the owner, for the property at 6120 South Cass Avenue, Westmont, for a major site plan approval for a daycare center in the C1 Commercial District. Director Hunter Fine.
Thank you. So what we have before us is, so I know we're working within a new zoning ordinance. So this is what we call a major site plan approval. Minor site plan approvals don't necessarily have to go through planning and zoning in the board. If you remember, you could build a 10,000 square foot building without actually having to go through this cumbersome approval process. In this case, it still needed to go through the process, but what is being requested here is a site plan approval. So this is a permitted use, which means it is a use that is allowed in this district by right. So daycare centers are allowed to go into this district. It meets all the conditions of the zoning ordinance, so all your bulk, so there's no variances being requested. It meets the intent of the comprehensive plan for a business that should be here, and it meets our commercial design guidelines, so it's got enough brick on it that we're happy. This went through 2 planning and zoning. So the first time it went through planning and zoning in May, planning and zoning was not thoroughly happy with the site plan because daycare centers do have some constraints on traffic, pickup and drop off in particular. And the circulation pattern that they had proposed, and they actually came with an alternate as well, neither of them fully made planning and zoning happy. So they did retool. They came back at the June meeting and they had modified the pickup drop off that's there. Now, I do know that daycare centers have changed the way that they pick up and drop off. Whereas years ago, you could kind of pull through a drive-through and put the kids out the door. Now everyone has to park their car in a parking space, walk their child in, and pick their child up the same way. So you don't necessarily have cars that continue running or sitting in a drive aisle. All the parents have to walk the kids inside. So there is turnover, but that turnover is usually, I think, in the morning is between 6 and 9 a.m. and then in the afternoon between 3 and 6. So you hope that it's dispersed enough based on everyone's work schedules and school schedules that it can be accommodated. So they have revised it. It did get a unanimous positive recommendation for the 5 people that we had at Planning and Zoning. And actually, my Planning and Zoning commissioners were much happier with the site plan that was provided. And I do have the petitioner here if you have any questions for them directly.
Thank you. First, I'm going to ask if there's anyone from the public that has any comments. If not, I'm going to ask trustees if they have any comments or questions. All right. Would the petitioner like to come up and introduce herself?
Good evening, and thank you for your time this evening. My name is Megan O'Connor. I am here on behalf of 814. We are the developer and the proposed landlord, so we are under contract to purchase this property. And then we will continue to be the landlord for the ultimate tenant, a daycare operator named N Family. N Family is a wonderful daycare operator. They really, really care about their students. And they're very excited about Westmont being one of their earlier locations in the United States. So they currently operate in the UK and are coming over to the States. They're starting most of their development in the Chicago suburbs and a few more suburbs of Detroit. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? If not, I am going to ask for roll call, please.
Need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need a motion. Sorry.
Motion to approve, Little.
Second, Pirelli.
Now roll call.
Perfect. Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes. Thank you. Moving on, special use permit, 909 Oakwood Drive, Westmont High School, electronic message board sign. Board to consider an ordinance approving a request from Community Unit School District 201 for the property at 909 Oakwood Drive, Westmont, for a special use permit for an electronic message board sign for the Westmont High School in the R3 Residential Use District. Director Henderfine.
Thank you again. So for us in the zoning world, this is an easy one. Doesn't mean it's easy for decision makers. But so the high school is proposing an electronic message board sign. The reason why I say it's easy for us is because the junior high got assigned just a few years early, before this one. It is very similar in its size, shape, the way it's going to be used. It is a special use whenever you have a governmental use in a residential district. This is a residential zone. We require that they get special use approval. I know that when the junior high got theirs, there was always concern about the lighting and how much the houses that were nearby. There were none of the same concerns with this one presented when it went through. And we do have the school district represented here. They've worked very hard to try to get this. So if you want to invite them up, that's up to you. But I know that they're very happy to be at this endpoint.
If you'd love to come up and just say a few words, that would be great. And if you'd introduce yourself, please.
Good evening. My name is Courtney Templeton. I am a teacher at Westmont High School. I have 2 sons who went through the district, and I live in Oakwood. So I have so much invested in this project. I've wanted this sign ever since I worked with John Jonak to get the junior high sign. What we currently have at the high school is so limited. There are 2 sides, and you have 2 messages, and that's all. This new sign would allow for so much more to be projected. I don't know if you're aware of how much the high school is used beyond just the high school these days. We rent out our auditorium to dance companies, to theater guilds. We host the Junior High Music Association. We have a huge AP conference every May. And this would just enhance the plot. It would be beautiful. It would be proud. And one of the most wonderful things about this is that it is being financed by a grant from a former teacher at Westmont High School who, when she passed, set up an endowment. And she was a science teacher. She was the sponsor of the National Honor Society. I'm sponsor of the National Honor Society right now. I teach English. I don't teach science. And we would also have a plaque that would be there to celebrate what she has done for her legacy for the school district.
Great. Thank you. Is there anyone from the public who has any comments? If not, anyone from the board that would have any comment?
Actually, I have a question.
Yes.
Question for you.
Sure.
In the ordinance, I put that in approving the special use, subject to the condition that the sign messages must be directly related to Westmont High School activities and must otherwise comply with the sign regulations contained in the zoning ordinance. So that's like, they can't be flashing lights and things like that. But as far as relating to Westmont activities, I just want to make sure that if there are third-party activities taking place at the high school, I guess I should ask, will the sign be advertising those, and are those reasonably related to high school activities? I just don't want the school to suddenly get or the village to get a complaint from someone saying you're advertising some unrelated entity's meeting at our high school.
Certainly. I'd like to put on my Oakwood resident hat to answer that question. As an Oakwood resident, sometimes there's stuff going on and you don't know why it's full, and there's traffic and there's things going on. So this would not so much be promotional as opposed to explanatory. And I think it would promote that the high school is a part of a larger community. And when I say dance companies come and perform there, we have students in our district who are in those dance companies. And the AP conference is something that the high school and the music thing that I spoke about is a high school, well, the junior high. So they're all related. They are all educational. They are all a part of CUSD 201 and what we do and how we are a part of a community and a part of a neighborhood. And
Makes sense to me.
okay.
As long as everyone else is fine with that.
So just to clarify, it's things that are, events that are happening within that building. It's not
Correct.
necessarily, you wouldn't see like Taste
Not
of
going to say
Westmont
taste,
being.
no Taste of Westmont.
Right.
Right.
So it's just stuff that would be
Taste of Westmont is wonderful. I'm
Yeah,
gonna get it all here. Taste of Westmont from the National Honor Society. No, it would be
Or
things that are-
community-wide garage sale or whatever.
No. This is not like the sign in front of the library. This is a sign that says, this is what this building is doing. This is what this district is doing. This is how we are a part of this community.
All right, thank you. Hearing no other further comments, I am going to ask for a motion.
Motion to approve, Plowman?
Second, Pirelli.
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Plowman.
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Passes.
Moving on, item D, special use permit, 38 South Cass Avenue, Mahjong Studio, the Maj House. Board to consider an ordinance approving a request from the Maj House LLC DBA, the Maj House's petitioner, and Richmond Station LLC owner for the property at 38 South Cass Avenue, Westmont, for a special use to operate an indoor other participant entertainment business, a Mahjong studio in the B1 Downtown Edge District. Director Henderfind.
Thank you. So what's before us is a Mahjong studio. We had one of these come through probably just 2 meetings ago, so it's very popular right now. Anything that is considered a participant in our downtown would be a special use. And that's because a special use wants to make sure that the space and location is appropriate and doesn't cause any detrimental effects to the immediate area around it. This is a fairly small Mahjong studio. I believe that they are going to both host the games and will teach you as well. And I do have the business owner here so she can introduce herself. I believe class sizes maybe top out at maybe 16, I think is what it was. So it's a fairly low impactful thing. This is right around the corner at Richmond Station. So after you grab your coffee at Jay's, then you can run over and, now that you're wired, you can win your Mahjong. So I can answer any additional questions if you have them, and I do have the business owner here as well.
If you'd like to come up and say a few words, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's nice to meet you all. I am looking to open a Mahjong parlor right around the corner at 38 South Cass Ave, right? You stole my line, I was going to say, right next to the adorable coffee shop that just opened up. But as the popularity for the game increases, there really lacks a lot of spaces for women and men to get together and play. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do, is just really create like a fun, relaxing environment for people to come take lessons and get together with their friends and meet other members of the community.
Great. And could we have your name for the record, please?
Oh, sorry, Melissa Mueller.
Thank you. Any comments from the public?
Are we kind of like the beginning of this craze? Because I haven't really heard of any of the studios in any of the other communities.
Yeah.
They may exist, maybe I'm just not seeing
Right there. So right now it's pretty popular. Most instructors or teachers will come to your home and host a lesson, or they'll host at like a bar or a restaurant. So really not spaces that are like conducive to learning properly, I guess you could say. But the reason I chose Westmont, so I'm a Downers Grove resident, born and raised. So I've grown up in the area, and I feel like it's a perfect central location for, not only Westmont residents, but you have Downers Grove, you have Darien, you have Oakbrook, you have Hinsdale. It's a really, really great central location, and I thought it would be the perfect spot to open.
Is there like any snack bar or anything that's included there, or any food products or vending?
I would love to have just like some snacks and refreshments, but for the most part, I would love for people, I've already exchanged numbers with a coffee shop, I'd love for people to pop in, grab a cup of coffee, and then come play or something along those lines. So I don't intend to sell or cook or anything like that, but there will be little snacks and stuff for people, yes.
Any further board comment? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Plowman?
Roll call, please.
Hey, Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Plowman.
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes, motion passes. Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving on, award of bid proposal, 2026 MFT Des Moines Street Reconstruction Project. Board to consider an ordinance awarding the bid proposal from Schroeder Asphalt Services, Inc. for the village's 2026 MFT Des Moines Street Reconstruction Project and authorizing a contract consistent with bid documents. Director Reese.
So we accepted bid proposals from 7 contractors for the 2026 MFT Des Moines Street Reconstruction Project. And the bids range from $1,339,350.08 to $2,054,882.50. So the low bid was about 15% lower than the engineer's estimate, which was a pleasant surprise. The improved construction budget for this project was $1.7 million, so the low bid is within the budgeted amount. The low bidder has performed work for the village in the past, and the work was satisfactory. And what I also forgot to put in my write-up is we did receive a $150,000 DCO grant for this project. So we'll be coming in a little bit even under than what this is with the grant money.
Any comments from board members? Otherwise, I will ask for a motion, please.
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Pirelli.
Roll call, please.
Okay. Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes, thank you. Motion passes. Moving on, engineering agreement 2026 MFT Des Moines Street Reconstruction Project. Board to consider an ordinance authorizing an engineering agreement with Thomas Engineering Group for Phase 3 construction engineering services for the 2026 MFT Des Moines Street Reconstruction Project. Director Reese.
So this is for the construction administration, field inspection, and documentation of the Des Moines Reconstruction Project construction contract that you just approved.
Any comments or questions from board members? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve, Plowman?
Second, Little?
Roll call, please.
Okay. Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes, motion passes. Moving on, resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code. Board to consider an approval of an Illinois Department of Transportation resolution for the village's 2026 MFT Des Moines Street Reconstruction Project. Director Reese.
So IDOT requires us to approve a resolution to expend MFT money. So this resolution is a request to appropriate the sum of $1.5 million for the 2026 MFT Des Moines Street Reconstruction Project, MFT number 26-00116-00-FP from the village's allotment of motor fuel tax funds.
Any questions from any board members? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Plowman?
Roll call, please.
Okay. Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, annual comprehensive financial report. Board to consider a motion accepting the annual comprehensive financial report for the 12-month period ending December 31st, 2025. Director Altek.
Thank you, Board. Last item on the agenda tonight, finally made it. So this is to go over and review our last completed financial audit for the year ended December 31st, 2025. So it covers the period January 2025 all the way through December of 2025. This is a statutory requirement. Village is required to go through an annual audit each and every year. So this meets that requirement. So the village is required to prepare an annual financial report. So the village does choose to go above and beyond just the basic requirement, and we prepare something called an annual comprehensive financial report, and we apply for the GFOA Government Finance Officers Award each and every year for their Certificate of Achievement in Financial Reporting Award. So the award is for those who kind of go above and beyond and issue reports in the spirit of transparency. Requires a lot more schedules and analysis in detail than just your basic financial reports. So we've already received the award for last year, and we will be applying for this we'll be applying for that over the next week, and we expect to receive this award probably in February of next year. Before I turn it over to Nick Bava from SICA, just want to go over a couple quick things. So we ended last year on a very strong note. The general fund balance grew by nearly 6% over last year, so it's pretty good, pretty solid year. Leading to that solid growth, really great performance from sales tax, income tax, and interest income. Finance is active and trying to invest idle cash into CDs and other state eligible things like CDs, treasuries, and munis, and we've been fortunate to squeak out better interest rate returns than what we can just in a regular government money market account. So that's why we're seeing a little bit stronger performance from interest income and things like that. Last thing I want to point out is, another thing leading to that 6% growth is departments did a really great job last year, and they always do a great job controlling expenses. Our budget to actual was very strong. We spent about $1.3 million less in the general fund than what we had budgeted for. So again, pretty strong performance from all departments across the village. That's all I have. I want to turn things over to Nick Bauer from Sickage. He's going to go over a few minutes, going to go over the audit.
Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. As Ellen mentioned, my name is Nick Bava. I'm a partner with Sickich and the partner to oversee the village's audit. So I'll cover just a few items out of the comprehensive financial report, but as always, we'd be happy to address any questions that the board might have. So as far as the level of assurance that we issue, the village contracts with Sickich to independently audit the village's financial statements of all of its funds, the balance sheets, the income statements, and report what we call assurance, an opinion on those financial statements. Are they reasonably stated as of the fiscal year end, December 31st, 2025? So what we've issued based on our procedures and our tests is called an unmodified opinion on all of those opinion units of the village. So that unmodified opinion is a clean opinion and the highest level of assurance that we as auditors can issue towards an organization like the Village of Westmont. So that means your financial statements are free of material misstatement and can be relied on for any means necessary. So that's your financial statement opinion. As always, for every fiscal year, we have to evaluate grant spending of a local governmental organization. So in the case of fiscal year 2025, the village spent, let me get my numbers right here, $4.2 million in grant dollars. Of that, $270,000 was state. The remainder, $3.9 million, was federal. So you've probably heard us as auditors talk about a single audit. A single audit is when an organization spends more than $1 million in federal grant dollars in a fiscal period. If that total is eclipsed, we have to perform compliance tests based on what the federal government sets for those programs in which the village spent those federal dollars. So for fiscal year 2025, there was an Illinois EPA project for the North Elevated Storage Tank. There was significant federal dollars related to that particular project. So we had to test those disbursements, the receipts, the reimbursement requests, all that goes into those particular costs in compliance with how the feds set that program up. So all that being said, we reported a clean, unmodified opinion on that particular program and in the single audit. No instances of non-compliance or question costs that came up as part of that. So major takeaway, clean opinion on the financial statements and a clean opinion on the compliance side of things. I'll tie that all together just by thanking Alan and the finance department. It's a fantastic group of people to work with. It's not a short process by any stretch, and we've had 3 audits in the span of 2.5 years with the village changing its fiscal year end, so we've certainly been seeing a lot of each other, but I appreciate everybody's help and commitment to the process. So I'll close and just, thank you for having me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. Any questions from board members? If not, I am going to entertain a motion.
I do just want to make a comment kind of to the point Alan had brought up about departments doing a great job keeping expenses down. I remember when I was going to school, everybody was talking about how there's the theory that there's an incentive to just spend as much budget as you have because you might not have it later. And so I will say, for all the years I've worked here, the vast majority of departments have done a really, really good job of saying, okay, even if we have it in the budget, if we can find a lower cost way to do it, that's the responsible thing to do for our residents, for our public, for those that trust us with their money, and they've done a fantastic job of that. And that's just continued, so I just wanted to comment that again. That's not the stereotype you expect, but it's the kind of dedication and commitment that our departments have. So I just wanted to share that.
Great, thank you so very much. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Pirelli.
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes, thank you. Moving on, miscellaneous. Is there anyone that has anything miscellaneous this evening? If not, I am actually going to move on executive session. We do need an executive session. A motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss the following. A meeting with an external auditor pursuant to Section 2C29 of the Open Meetings Act. If I could have a motion, please.
Motion by Little?
Second, Plowman.
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes, and there will be no further business following the executive session. I want to thank everyone for attending this evening, and have a wonderful and safe 4th of July weekend.